And a very, very good afternoon and a warm welcome. It's Deering Live on Thursday, as always. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. Very, very excited about today's episode. We'll get to the guest in just a second. So I'm running solo today. I am without my Robin. Actually, Batman's not here. So he's in Colorado. And he is attending Rocky Grass. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention was that if anyone is heading out to Rocky Grass this weekend, go see Dave. He's going to be hanging out with the Deering booth alongside our good friend John Kavanagh from Banjo Pickups. And they'll be there the whole weekend. It's a good-looking lineup from what I can tell. And it might not be too late to get tickets if you're in the area, so go check it out. He's going to be out there the whole time. Second thing I just wanted to mention real quick is if you haven't seen them already, the Good Time Bronze Limited Editions are now out and in stores. So go to the homepage of DeeringBanjos.com. It's the first main banner. You'll see it, and you can check out who has them. You can check out the specs, and you can pre-order as well. So go check them out. But that's not what we're here for today. Today we are here for a very special guest who actually, I should say, we've been trying to get on Deering Live for a little while. It hasn't quite worked out, just timing-wise and logistics and that kind of thing. But we finally managed to get her in and lure her into the Deering Live fold, and really, really honored and excited to have her here today. It is none other than Miss Mean Mary James. Let's bring her in. And
Hi.
there she is. Hey, Mary.
It's good to be here finally.
It is good to be here. It's great to have you here finally. We've been talking about this for a while, and then I know you were planning the album, and then the pandemic, and you were doing other things, and we had other stuff going on as well, and it was just a little crazy. So
Yeah.
super happy we managed to make it work now. So
Awesome. Yes.
how are you?
I'm great. And what episode is this are you on now? How many of these have you done?
72, I think. Jonathan can
Wow.
confirm. He's nodding. I think that's 72. Yep.
Wow.
So
That's pretty good. Impressive.
It's,
See, now I'm here where, you guys are all like, you got it all together and you can just lead me through it easily, right?
oh yeah, we've got this pretty much dialed in. The only thing we don't have dialed in is what we do in the event of a storm coming through and knocking out power.
No.
As we may well find out.
We'll find out. Yes,
We'll find out.
No, cool. Well, I'm glad somebody knows what they're doing here because I'm such an idiot when it comes to streaming. I've done a few. Obviously the pandemic, we did a few streaming concerts,
Yeah.
but it's like getting everything together and getting it set up, and there's always something that I didn't click or that I should have and didn't, and it's just so I'm happy that you guys have walked me through this so easily.
We have a pretty good system, and it's
Okay.
yes, it's a minefield of things that could possibly go wrong. So far, so good.
Yes.
Just knocking on some wood there, and that's a banjo, by the way. So.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
let's kick some things off here. Let's get a little tune going for us, as is tradition on Deering Live.
Okay. Awesome.
What do you want to play for us?
I thought that I would do something from the new album, and I'm actually it's kind of two songs because I started off writing an instrumental, and then I ended up putting lyrics to it and became No Man's Land. But then I was playing off of that a little bit with a variation, a little more Celtic sounding, and I wrote Merry Eyes. So I've never actually played it live for anybody. So I recorded it. I wrote it and recorded it immediately in the studio. So here we go.
Thank you. Take it away.
Actually, I was going to go right into the other song, but guess I should have done one last little tuning before I started on the typical banjo player. There's that smooth transition. Oh, here I stand in no man's land, drear and stark and dead. Contrariwise, these merry eyes see blue skies overhead. All is bleak, so very bleak in this land of grim mystique. Empty spaces, harsh places, send a wistful plea, like someone near or someone dear who calling out to me. And the wind veils its desire and it's hungry, hungry like a fire, like a wildfire. I'm full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. Full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. I'm full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. Full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. In no man's land. This open door to the ground floor of a rough and restless life. I looked up at the sky once more. Had it ever been so blue before? Falcons fly, shadows rush by. There's movement behind each stone. I'm lonely in name only, for I've never been alone. All the earth is fierce and alive, and it's hungry, hungry to thrive, to survive. I'm full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. Full of fight. Here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. Full of fight, here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. Full of fight, here I stand, doing alright in no man's land. In no man's
That was phenomenal. That was really good.
Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It seems to be a fan favorite in the chat here as well. So
Cool.
a nice,
Cool.
pretty good way to kick off the show, I think. So excuse me. So where are you at right now? You're in Nashville, right? In your studio?
I am. I'm here where I record and do pretty much everything. I'm gonna take this off for a second.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah.
Just take a breath. You guys got me laughing so much before the show started. I think I've already got a sore throat just from.
We had a good time in the green room, right? We had some jokes.
We can't discuss it, for the sake of certain people's culinary tastes. We won't go into that, but
You're teetering on the edge of that line, though.
yeah, I know. We'll save it. Anyway, see behind me, I made sure that we've got these are all deerings up here.
Yep.
My crossfire, which I did on the the band, the EP is coming out next month. I got to play that baby a little bit. And
Awesome.
there's
We
my
might
good
have to
old
talk
good
about
time.
it.
Yeah.
The Midnight Special.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was so I mean, I had a certain order of things, but I mean, we can just jump straight into
Oh
that real
yeah.
quick
Sorry.
since
No,
you
go
brought up
for
the band.
whatever you
No,
got
no, no,
going
you're
on.
fine. So I'm curious because you're playing a rustic wreath, slightly customized with black chrome hardware, which you and I
Right.
kind of worked on a little bit. Um,
Uh huh.
how is that compared to the good time, and kind of why the switch? Because around these parts, you've got kind of a reputation for being the face of that Midnight Special
Uh,
model. Like it was me and Mary, that was her banjo. Like how come the switch?
uh, well, I felt, you got to keep things. You can't just sit in the same. I'm all about variety and the spice of life, and I love the good time, and it is a great banjo. And it's great for on the road, but of course now I got to play this everywhere. So and it's heavier, so my shoulders getting further and further this way. But it was just just a sound, and I was looking at banjos because I'm like, it's time that I played something else, and just the beauty of different instruments, because whether they're better or worse or whatever, they all have their different personalities, and it's and it brings to life something. Maybe if you're playing a new instrument, it gives you an idea for a song or just a sound. And I just loved the highs actually on that one. When I was hearing some of the demos, it was just that real, and I love it when it just really resonates and has that almost chime sound on the banjo.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's. Plus, it does have the lows, which I also love. So it's got a nice depth, and so I just wanted to
Right.
explore
And you
that
got
a
the
little bit.
kind of sueded black head on there as well, which kind of it doesn't mute
Yes.
it
Uh-huh.
exactly, but it definitely kind of dampens off some of those real shrill highs that everyone like,
Right.
but it still
Right.
brings them out just enough. So
You,
it sounds great over
exactly.
here.
Oh,
By the way, if anyone's listening in
cool.
headphones, by the way, Mary's in full stereo. So if you listen, she's going to
Ooh.
shift from left to right, and it's really cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Kind of
Sorry.
eerie sounding. So I definitely want to get into the album. I've listened to it a
Okay.
bunch. But before we do that, because this is your first appearance, I just want to kind
Yeah.
of go back a little bit and talk about
Okay.
you and your history. Like you've got a pretty amazing upbringing and youth and all these crazy things and amazing things that I'm sure kind of shaped who you are as a musician and a songstress as well. But kind of, can you give us like an overview? I mean, in your bio, you described your parents as kind of almost nomadic in their lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? I know you moved a lot and you were up into, was it up near Canada, right?
Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Yeah,
sorry,
up to the right on the border, basically.
So
Yeah.
give us
So
like an overview.
well, yes, it was a very. I'm the youngest of six, and well, there's so much I could go into. There was 25 years difference between my mom and my dad when they got married, and so my dad, I was not expected. So my dad was 60 when I was born, so I was the last. And so my dad was legally blind, and he was retired at that time, and so they wanted to. They had both my parents very adventuresome people, and my mom has always been. I mean, she's works with wood and building houses. Her dad was a builder, so she even now, I guarantee you right now, she's over in Tennessee, probably working on restoring our old house or working on the barn or doing fence rails or something. And she just, that's her. So it was just a desire to go do some. We lived in Florida, and my mom caught snakes for a while for a living, the venomous ones and other ones for the farmers with pest control, and worked for the snakeatorium, and the venomous ones she would sell for antivenom they make out of that. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, so they went to
It already
Minnesota.
sounds
And
badass. Don't mess with
we
Mary's
lived
mom.
in yeah, exactly. That's why she travels with me. She's my bodyguard on the road.
There you go.
But we lived in a Viz Queen tent, so just a plastic tent while we built a log cabin with no electricity, just an axe, not even a chainsaw. And me and my siblings, we read books under the Northern Lights and all that stuff. And we got the cabin done right before it got really cold. And so, but still, we had like a wood stove, and you could basically freeze water like 3 feet away from that wood stove. So it was,
Wow.
but it was very just rural. Upbringing, I mean, no TV, no nothing.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it as a kid. I don't remember feeling like I missed out on other things. I mean, I just enjoyed being out in nature and doing that kind of stuff. So
It's funny, isn't it?
yeah,
Because like, especially with the pandemic and everything, there's a lot of kind of energy is going towards that, not necessarily that kind of life, but you got these TV shows like the off the grid kind of thing, and people like
yes,
wanting to get out of the chaos of the city and into that kind
yeah,
of. Did you
I
feel
think
like you
so.
kind of had that naturally coming up?
I did. I'm ready for zombie apocalypse or anything.
Right.
You know, I've
Yeah.
had the whole survival experience growing up, so I know how to get by with just an axe and a
And a banjo. I mean, what do you
and a
need?
banjo. That's
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. Were your parents
So
musical at all, or is it? And as far as like you and your siblings, I know Frank, your brother, is obviously very musical and is very involved with what you do. Had the pleasure of meeting him last time you were out here, I think. And
yes.
but how about
Um,
everybody else?
no, I mean we all. My mom is musically inclined. I mean she never pursued it, but she's you can she sings under her breath constantly. You can have a conversation. She drives me crazy because you'll be talking to her and she's like, and she hears every word you said, but she never stops singing or humming. You're like trying to have a serious conversation. But anyway, but yeah, she's very musical, and my dad he had a good voice, but he could not carry a tune for the life of
So,
him, and.
yeah,
My siblings, they like music. They all picked up the guitar when they were kids. They just never pursued it to the
yeah.
extent.
So
So
you and
that's why
Frank, huh?
they make a lot of money, and I don't. So
Well, I think anyone involved in music is doing it to get rich, right? Not necessarily. I
that's
would say about
very true.
99% of people. But I would urge everyone, if they haven't, I'm sure most people who are watching have seen this. There's a really great video of you at 6 years old. I think it's on
Oh
your website
gosh,
as well. But you're playing Long Tall Texan at 6 years old on
yeah.
guitar, and it's killer. Like
Oh,
it was up on YouTube in 2008, I think. It's had something like 830,000 views since then, and
oh gosh, yeah.
it's a little mean Mary.
I'm
It's cool.
just adorable, aren't I?
Well, yeah, but I mean, for 6 years old
No,
to
yeah,
have the talent.
I oh well, thank you. I started young. I started right before I turned 5, and yeah, and I did I did that TV show in Birmingham. It's called the Country Boy 80s Show. So like every morning, I get up super early, and I was do my little song.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And there was another line I saw as well that was it says Mary learned to read music before she could read words and was an official singer-songwriter before she'd started her first day of kindergarten. Is that true?
That is very true. Yes,
Yeah.
my mom helped me learn guitar. She had to read the books for me, and then I learned how to read music when I was about 4.5. Is when I started.
Wow.
So yeah.
It just was meant to be, right?
And I'm still trying to actually learn how to read words, so that wasn't much of
Me too.
a.
Me too. And I'm English. So when did the banjo come into play? Because you play guitar and
uh,
fiddle, right? As well. That's
yeah, I
your
play guitar. I started with guitar, and then I think fiddle when I was 6. So I didn't play the banjo till I was 7, and it was just I think it was more of a whim as far as I remember. What my mom remembers is just that we were in a pawn shop and I saw banjo and I was like, I want to learn how to play that. So it wasn't like I'm listening to banjo music. I just saw the instrument and thought, oh, cool, I want to learn that. So that's
That's
how that
awesome.
started.
Was there anything that drew you to it? Like, was it a sound of another artist, or just a
I was
what was it?
7, so there probably
You just
wasn't.
yeah, I
I don't
guess.
know. It was just I don't really have a memory of it that way. I've never and I hate to say it that way, but I'm not really somebody who's grew up listening to banjo music or been like a big bluegrass fan. I kind of just the banjo was just kind of something that I played, and so I just kind of did my own thing with it. I mean, I listen to now I listen to banjo players and think
Yeah,
it's awesome and all that. But as far as just a genre that I grew up listening to or that's my top of the list, no, it's not.
right.
It's not me.
Yeah, and I've got some things to mention on your style as well. But did you take lessons when you first started out,
Um,
or were you just kind of
n-
tinkering
no,
and you know?
I learned from books and tapes. So yeah, I could read music, and then I did tablature on the banjo and just learned, like some of the classic songs, and
Right.
that was it. Yeah.
How do you describe your style? Because I've seen you do straight ahead bluegrass. I've seen you on like 9 Pound Banjo do like more of a bluesy type thing,
Right.
right, which is completely different. You can play
Yeah.
very beautiful, subtle melodic lines as well. Like how would you describe your style? Is it just you or
I just, what, I don't really have something that like this is what I'm gonna play.
yeah,
What I write at the time. I mean, I'm not really an artist that's held to a particular genre. I kind of, and it's always been kind of a hang up, when I was younger, when people wanted you to play country music or be rock, or you got to pick a side. But I think nowadays people are very or maybe back then too, but we didn't have the internet to kind of like show all these different, things. So,
yeah,
because people aren't just, I only listen to, this. I mean, we all kind of listen to different things. And so when I write, I mean, it might be a little darker and more of a driving rhythm, or it might be really tinkly and pretty, or it might be more
mhm.
bluegrass and clap your hands. It's just what I want to do. And hopefully, people will like it when I do it. And
I
if
think
they
they
don't,
do.
then I
I get the impression that they do. Certainly, everybody in the chat right now is a
no.
big fan. So
Oh,
that's
well,
awesome.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I find it's awesome when you write. Are you writing with a banjo primarily, or what's your kind of routine there?
Um, if normally the guitar is kind of like the main thing that I would if I'm singing, a song or whatever. But people like the banjo, and I like to give the audience make sure each album or when I'm doing shows that I have enough. Like I don't want to sit here and write 12 new guitar songs and one banjo, because people want to hear it. So I make sure that I specifically now pick up the banjo and to write something, because it's a different feel. And as a
Yeah.
singer, you tend to want to pick up a guitar because it's you strum, you kind of get into this groove, and the banjo's a little. It's more based on the instrument as opposed to what you're doing. So you kind of gotta, and coming up with something that feels good behind the vocals when I do
Right.
sing. So yeah, but every now and then I get like really inspired. Like Dark Woods was like, oh, this I gotta write this on the banjo. I have this like gypsy kind of feel going on, and I wanted to do. And Iron Horse was the same way. I playing with the tuning down to the C, and it's like I just that low. So yeah, and even Cranberry Gown is like I tuned the banjo just down to E, just like
Okay.
open, and it's like it was just so mellow, and the tune came really good. It's like I have to write a song just with this feel, this easygoing kind of mellow
Yeah.
sound. So yeah,
So you're
but it's different
intentionally
every
writing
time.
with the banjo as well. Do you find yourself like with a melody for a song line in your head, or is it just noodling on any instrument, and then something kind of comes out of it, and then you kind of build from there, or do you sit down like intentionally? I'm now going to write a song
Um,
on the banjo and force it out of yourself.
it's all of the above, but
Okay.
I honestly I have like on my phone I have my voice memos are full of just when I sit down, but I need that time. That's why traveling is great for like writing lyrics, because you're driving and you have all this time to think just about stuff and all that. But when to really sit down for me to just come up with ideas musically, I need to just be playing the instrument. And when you're touring, you're just you're playing, you're exhausted. The last thing you really feel like
Right.
doing is picking up the instrument in between time, and it's really hard to do that when you're driving as well. So I like being home so I can just enjoy the instrument, and then just like pick up the banjo and just play some stuff. Maybe what I play is just junk and I throw it away, but I usually end up saving different things, and then later on when I need a fresh feel, I'll go back and listen. It's like, oh yeah, I still need to, and I've got quite a bit of stuff, ready to go to help inspire me. So
That's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. Um, on your voice, this I remember
yeah,
when I first heard you and I first met you actually. Your voice is really unique. It's really
oh yeah,
rich,
thank
right?
you.
And you can get kind of low as well. But before that, like when you're writing and you're playing, especially on the banjo, when you're playing some pretty intricate licks and kind of intertwining some arguably just as intricate
Right.
like lyrics and words and things. How easy is that process to get used to playing and
Um,
singing banjo at the same time? It's a little different from guitar.
it is. It is. I was like a lot of the times I do like when it's just like kind of like a bluegrassy thing, and it's really easy for me because I guess because I what I was playing when I was younger, I I just kind of do the roll and I just kind of play in kind of inflections when I sing. I'll do on the instrument as well, and it just like Dark Woods. I really enjoyed that almost piano like cold ashes of an old campfire. But it's just a simple roll and it flows and that's all I really need to kind of my hand you're kind of gets in that pattern and you don't even think about it, and then little chords and inflections. And it's just you anyway. Yeah, it comes naturally after, but it's probably for me doing it from such a young age and just singing and playing often, so that I don't even think about really what I'm doing with my hands. So, but then I also get you stuck in familiar territory too, because every time I sing I want to do certain like pattern, just like the forward backward roll kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to come up with like a new song, I want to do something a little different, and I find myself wanting to go back into familiar territory, behind it. So,
I
but
love it.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. That's really cool. I know that you had an accident when you were fairly young, right? And it kind of damaged your vocal cords at one point.
I did.
I was curious, has that kind of affected your voice tonally, do you think? Or is it when you recover? Because I know it was a process to recover and get that kind of working again. But
It
did it,
was.
yeah. Do you think it affected you
No,
tonally?
no, I don't really, because I've listened to myself younger and stuff, and my voice is kind of always as it has been. Yeah, it was. Gosh, it's been quite a few years now. But I paralyzed one of the vocal cords. I thought it was never gonna get movement again. And being a singer already helped me at the time, because your vocal cords meet together like this, and if the one's not moving, but because I'd been singing, I had such flexibility that the one reached over to hit the other. But at the first, right after the accident, I was so bruised and swollen and all this stuff that I just whispered, and then it turned into just like a level talking kind of monotone, and it was heartbreaking as a singer, because you're listening to people go up and down, and you're like right here, and you're like, I used to be able to hit that note or that, but with a lot of prayer and faith, and and it just about 6 months into it, there was movement back in there. So I try to take good care of my voice if I can. But it took a while for it to get back to its range of up and down. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like, to listen to the voice now, to know that you've kind of been through that, and then to hear your voice today, like it's really, because you've got a hell of a range going up and down. It's really cool, and you're able to use it in a way that is, you can be aggressive and upfront, and then kind of really dial it back and very soft and subtle. And I think that's a reflection of your banjo playing as well. It kind of link in and segue quite nicely together. I think. Would you agree with that?
That's cool. Yeah. I love dynamics, I guess you could say. I just I love the element of really coming in strong or just pulling back to that. And the banjo is so capable of. I don't think a lot of people think of a banjo, just as audience. Don't they think of a banjo as just you're bluegrass and you're happy and you're playing it, but it's like any other instrument. It's got it can be sad, it can be soft, it can be beautiful, it can be dark and mysterious, and so it's fun to explore all that in it.
I agree. Do you want to play a little song for us halfway through?
Oh, sure.
That'd be awesome. What are we thinking?
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to start talking about the album and get into that something as well.
Okay. let me tune up real quick.
Go for it. Go for it. Do you tend to get drawn for kind of darker tunes, or do
I what?
you get drawn into like writing darker tunes more than kind of more happy upbeat ones, or what's your? I know for me, I go down a darker road normally. Yeah, like minor chords.
Yeah.
Minor chords are my best friend. Yeah, most of the time.
I do. I love minor keys and dark tunes. I try not to overdo that just for the sake of people listening. That sometimes I'm inspired. I mean, I don't force it when a happier song comes out. You know, it does. Yeah. But most of the time I do find myself, writing. And as far as lyrically, I love these dark story songs with murder and mayhem and all that stuff in them. So yeah.
Your website has an extremely well documented catalog of lyrics.
It's good. I need to put the new album lyrics up there too, don't I?
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't see that.
Keep writing songs with them. Yeah. No. I felt it was a good thing to and I co-write with my mom a lot, so I wanted to share what we do together that way.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna do something happy. How about that?
Let's do it. Let's go for some major chords. Smiles on people's faces.
Yeah.
I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot happier for it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm uplifted. Look, I mean, I've got a cup of coffee. Everything's good.
There you go.
So I think the caffeine, along with the major chords, there is playing a big part. But let's get into the album. So this is. Let me actually. I can bring it up. 1 second. Here we go. There you are. Portrait of a Woman, Part 1. First of all, it suggests that there's going to be a Part 2.
There is going to be a Part 2. Yes.
So what are we thinking on release date for Part 2 before we get into Part 1?
Well, I officially, it's been told around that it is September 2023, so next year, next fall. But we'll see, because I'd like to take my time with things. I don't like to rush things, and if I get busy, we're doing every song on this album we're going to try to make a music video for, so that takes time, and then touring.
Of course.
But Portrait of a Woman 2 was already started. Actually, some of the songs were started before Portrait of a Woman 1. that I'm really excited to to get out there. So it's going to be fun. We got all sorts of crazy stuff. We got a song called Tarzan. We got I have a 25 verse murder ballad. It's going to be
Is
a lot
there
of fun.
anybody better in the world to write a 25 verse murder ballad than you, Mary James? I mean, honestly speaking, I don't think there is. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment, but
No, it's
thank you.
definitely a compliment. It's definitely a compliment. It's perfect.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, so that's definitely in the works.
Well, that sounds like a good time to book a second Deering Live appearance. Is around about this time next year. We'll talk about it again.
There you go.
But in the
That's
meantime,
perfect.
let's focus on part one, because this is now
Okay.
it came out last Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's only been out since the 22nd.
It's a
So
week. Yeah.
yeah,
What's the
just
response
days.
been so far?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really exciting in the UK and stuff where we do a little bit of publicity. I'm very I'm not very good about marketing an album. It's like it's like when it's done and it's out. By the time it's ready to like everybody else to hear it, I'm bored of it. I don't want to talk about it. It's done. I'm ready to move on to the next thing, and I'm always behind on my marketing strategy. So we're just going to see how this plays out. That's why we're doing videos and letting it go. But it's been great. People have been so sweet about it. I'm getting lots of nice comments and reviews and such. So.
Well, that's fantastic. I've listened to it over the last few days since it came out, and I don't know. To me, it maybe you correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like it's a bit more of a complete package to me of Me Mary. Like there's a lot of different styles in there,
Yeah, good. Well,
and
that's what I was
it
going
just
for.
yeah, from start to finish, it just sounds like a full package. Not to take away from anything else you've done,
Oh
but
no, yeah,
you know,
I agree. I'm all the albums I've been passionate about when I was working on them and really excited about the different songs. But really, and just for me, just from my perspective, obviously the audience and people might have their favorite songs and such, but for me, this is like my favorite album because I've had so much fun just working the some of the comedy songs, some of the more serious, and just working with a few other musicians that that is the first time I've worked with, like David Henry on the cello and some of those low bass. Bowed bass that I love that sound, and it's something that I haven't really had an album yet. I play violin and I love the sound of a violin, but just getting those lows like the cello and the upright bass that's me. I like that.
no, of course.
So
There's
that's been
what's
fun.
the one song is I don't have the track listing, but it's Betty.
Oh, Betty, come back.
Betty come back. At the
Yeah.
end of that, you kind of had that chanting thing going on. It sounds like that's where that double bass
Oh,
bow is going on as well.
oh, right. Yeah,
It
and
sounds
Frank's in
awesome.
there singing his like gypsy chorus. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
no, it's
fun.
really
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool. What is in your own words? What's kind of the overarching theme of the album?
The theme of the album, I guess, is that it doesn't have a theme. No, it's that it's a portrait of a woman. I wanted because people are always remarking how the way I skip around genres. I stay kind of what they call Americana, but I'm like in every outlying facet of that. So as a musician, I just portrait of a woman, the various facets of a woman, various facets of a musician. I just wanted to represent all of it because just people in a whole. We have our ups and downs, our happy and our sad, and so I just wanted to do an album that it was entirely me and just whatever I wanted to write.
That's what it's all about, right? It's you
Yeah,
being you.
exactly. That's it.
Do you have a favorite song on the album that you? I think you kind of hinted earlier.
Oh, no, I don't really. I have to admit, you mentioned this song, and I really loved Old Banjo, because I just like the style of song, and I love the tabla in it, and just how it
Yeah.
sounded, the percussion and the low bass. I thought that was something that was fun. But all the songs are special to me, so I can't really pick one in particular.
No
So
favorite child, huh? That's okay.
no favorite genre.
What was the line in that song? I lost my fortune long ago. All I have is my old banjo. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, well, thank
That was a
you.
really good
Thank
song.
you.
But
Thanks.
I know that in the chat, Kiss Can Hide Two Faces is a favorite as well,
Oh, yeah, I
which
forgot
is
to
not a
mention that
Banjo
one. Yeah,
song, but
it is
that one got my
not.
attention for sure. I really like
Yeah,
it.
I like that song too.
Yeah. How long did it take you to record the album, start to finish, do you think?
Oh gosh, I can't really say because I was back and forth, and I'm bad about doing things like going one direction and then saying, I don't, that's not working, or actually having lots of like, because I started with 25 songs. That's why there's Portrait of a Woman too, and I kind of said I'll do these in the next one. Let me play with that later. So and then I've also have the band, the 4 songs of that I was working on. I've actually got 5 more songs that they've already David and Alan have already done percussion and bass on. Like they did it like 5 years ago, and I still haven't done my recorded my parts on it too. So I've got little projects around everywhere, so I can't really give you a time frame. It's just
Yeah. Did you do it there at your studio, most of it, or did you go out to another spot?
yeah, everything that I do is at my studio, and then the other musicians, other than Frank comes to my studio and records. But
Okay.
as far as doing like a full kit and doing the bass, we went out for that for the band. But the other musicians, it was done remotely. So like some of the bass was done from someone in the UK.
Really?
John did a great job on that. Yeah, and then
Oh, that's awesome.
actually the tabla, the percussion, that was a gentleman out of the UK as well. So yeah, just it's fun working with people all over.
What a world we live in. Did you know those guys
It
beforehand, or did you kind of just reach out to some random
No,
people?
I just was researching online,
Yeah.
YouTube,
And so you just
and finding people.
figured
Yeah,
out
yes,
the
musicians.
spec of the track and everything like that, and kind
Uh
of
huh.
a couple of Zoom
Yeah.
calls, that kind of thing, and just kind of got in
It
with what you were
exactly.
looking
Yeah.
for. Really?
It's amazing. I mean, there's so many great musicians out there, really. I have to say, that you just that you can just tell somebody, "Hey, I have this song. Just give it a try." Because I like, when I do something myself, I want to have the freedom to do whatever I want. If I'm gonna play banjo, I do what I want. So when I have an idea on a song, but when I send it to another musician, I want them to, whether even if it's percussion or the backbone of the song, I want them to kind of like just do it. You kind of hear what I'm going for. You're a musician, and people really surprise you that way. I mean, it's like, wow, some of the immediately the first take back to you is like, oh, that's perfect, exactly, or it's like something I never would have thought of. That's wonderful. So I
I was
just
just
love
going to
giving
say that.
people free. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get the
I
tracks
think
back and it's like, I did not imagine it to be like this, but it actually works better than the thing I was
it
thinking about?
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I love not to be one of those producers where it's like, you got to have everything, or just an artist. It's like, it's got to be like this, and I want the drum to sound like that. It's like, I love to just give
Right.
other musicians a chance to do what because so many people have their own creative
Right.
abilities they can bring to it. And it's nice.
I guess that's a good thing about the remote thing, because if everyone's in the studio, then you kind of have
Oh,
that almost instant
pressure.
feedback thing as well. Like if I don't know, let's say a percussion player is playing a certain way, you can instantly say no, not like that.
Yeah.
Versus getting a track and not having a clue what they're doing necessarily, other than trying to interpret your brief or ideas or
Right.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you get to kind of lay it in and then kind of offer some feedback. And it's just a bit more of it seems like it would be a bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like genuine a process, I
Yes.
guess. It gives them a
Uh
chance to
huh.
kind of put their creative stamp on something.
Right. And maybe because I'm somebody who's kind of like shy and happy in my own little private space away from other people, that that maybe other musicians are that way too. Just that not having that pressure of just being in your own little environment and just playing with something and finding, letting it come out naturally and not being forced into that studio pressure situation. Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
it's a good thing.
Yeah. No,
Not that
I
it
hope
works
so.
every time. Obviously, there's going to be back and forth, like, let's try that again. But for the most part, it's
Yeah.
fun letting people do their thing.
How do you, I was curious, how do you, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just monitor for, you want a certain quality of recording, right? It's one thing for
Right.
someone, you can find a great bass player or a great percussionist halfway across the globe,
Yes,
but how do you account for their ability to actually capture the sound
to
of it?
capture.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I nowadays, people are really good about about their technology, and musicians, most musicians, they have it figured out. They've got their mics, they've got their setup, and they do a good job. And I think the remote, doing the remote tracking and stuff, has really is a popular thing. And so if you want to make a living as a musician, somebody who plays percussion or bass, the opportunities there, you got to have the equipment to make it sound good. And if not, then just fix it in the mix, right?
Yeah. Fix it in the mix.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it. And I know Frank, you mentioned Frank, your brother. He's been kind of collaborating with you and working with you forever, right? How involved
Yes.
was he in the album?
Very much involved. Yeah. I when I was working on the songs, I always, Frank always does some songs with me on every album, and he occasionally tours with me. As I say, when he's not home washing his hair, he goes on the road and tours with me. But so it's like, but he doesn't really he doesn't sing. He's not a trained singer and stuff like that. But he's got a really good voice, and so it's kind of fun making him get up there and use that low baritone voice of his on some of the songs, and of course playing the 12 string. So he's definitely got his own personality. So I really wanted to make him, come in there and add to that with his own, brand.
No, I like it. I like it. It's awesome. I'm curious about, because your new single is Cranberry Gown, correct? That's the one that you just released, and there's a really cool video. What was the kind of inspiration behind that song?
Oh gosh. That one was written quite a while ago. That one was inspired by something. Whereas I collect tunes, my mom is somebody who writes down lyrics, like little ideas. I as far as lyrics goes, I keep everything kind of in my head, and I'm not somebody who writes down an idea. It's like when I write a song, it just kind of, there's stuff there already, and it kind of, I save the music. My mom, she writes down all these little, like anything, little cool ideas she had, and sometimes I go through her notes just for the fun of it and to see little ideas. And she had written Cranberry Gown down. I don't remember what context she had for it. And I don't know, something about it just struck me at the time. I got the image and the feeling. I had that, like I told you, I tuned the banjo down way, to low. And it sounded very mellow. And then, we wrote the song together, and it just kind of took off. I just had this, these ideas kind of pop in your head, and you see the whole story, and so it was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a cool video as well. I urge you to check it out. I did request that Mary wear the cranberry gown today. She didn't quite do, but she got close. And I was very happy. She's trying to promote you. That's all.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. And I know in your career, like YouTube has played a pretty big role. Like you were one of the, I don't want to say like early stars, but like that kind of helped you get some notoriety as well, right? Like, how are you today in this kind of crazy world of 2022 and everything's social media and content driven and all this kind of thing? How are you trying to keep up with that? Like, is it still serving its purpose, or are you just kind of just fulfilling obligations at this stage?
YouTube was kind of just a lucky thing as far as that goes. My mom and brother Frank had bought me a camera. I think it was a wedding present actually from me and Johnny got married. And we just, and so it was just kind of like, hey, shoot a video on the porch here. And so that kind of led to the videos. And, I didn't really take advantage of it as much at the time. It was like, okay, well, the video's doing good, and started getting a lot of fans and people that come to shows that were like, I saw you on YouTube. And to be honest, I don't know in today's world, where I would be at if it wasn't for YouTube, because the music industry was really hard for independent artists prior to all of this stuff. Really, it was like, the gatekeepers. And if, I'm not a networking type person. I'm a hideout by myself and then play a show kind of person. So I never really got into that, that group of people in the industry, the music business. But with the internet, it cut off the middleman to some degree. And now it's just like artist to audience. There's no, business people, that stepping in or saying you can or can't or get out there. So yeah, so I love. I mean, I hate social media, and I love it.
It's an evil
Yeah,
necessity, isn't it? It's just it is what it
it
is.
it 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 definitely is. But yeah, I shouldn't say anything negative about that because it definitely my the reason I play shows and have people come out is because they've seen me, on YouTube or somewhere online. So.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, the album's really cool. I really, really enjoyed listening to it, and I can't wait for part two.
Thank you.
So,
Oh, well, thank you.
we have a bunch of questions. Probably more
Oh,
questions, I think, in the Deering Live than I can remember, actually.
oh
Um,
goodness. Okay.
so,
What are
are
some
you ready for
questions?
some on-the-spot stuff?
Oh, sure.
You ready? All right. Well, actually, let's start with an easy one. So, I would say a
Okay.
handful of them are just about more or less touring. People
Okay.
evidently are keen to see you in the furthest
Oh,
possible regions away from Tennessee as they can be. So Europe,
okay. Mm-hmm.
Australia, the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got, and some other countries. Where are you headed? Any plans?
Things are starting to pick up that way. So I'm not doing a lot this year. It's on my calendar what I am doing this year. And then next year it's going to be a lot of catch up just in this country because of, things being canceled and I'm still actually rescheduling things. The year 2020 I'd had I was going to go out. I was supposed to play in Oregon, and I had all these shows scheduled out west, and I still haven't even done that tour yet. So that will be hopefully next year. And then I was thinking that 2024 would be hopefully a good year to return to the UK and Europe. So Australia, I don't know about yet. I would love to go, but we'll see.
Have you ever toured
Hopefully
in
in the
Australia?
future. I haven't. I haven't been to Australia, so.
It's a crazy place. It's great,
But yeah.
but it's huge. It's kind of hard to
Oh,
wrap your head around just the sheer size of it and the fact that most of it you can't live
right.
in. It's
Yeah,
mental, but
yeah. Yeah, I'd
it's
love
a
to see
wonderful
it, but
country. Yeah,
cool. Well, it's
I'll send
definitely
you out
for
there.
a future tour. Yeah.
When you do the West Coast, will you make it down to San Diego? And I know the answer is yes. And so
Of course, of course.
come out of factory. All right.
Definitely.
This is a really cool question. Silent Outlaw
Okay.
asks, is there a type of movie or production you'd love to hear your music in?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right, that's a good question.
Type of movie or production? I don't know. But yeah, sure. A good movie or
Any,
good production. I would love to hear my
just
music.
a movie.
I'm a big movie fan. I really am. So and I lived in LA for a while, and we worked on movies and such. And my kitty cat is here. I
Yeah,
write.
Dear My Pets.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I yeah, I when I write songs, I visually see stuff. I mean, I like story songs and things. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty open as long as it's
What was
good.
what was the last movie you saw that you loved?
Oh,
I should say.
the last movie that I saw that I loved. I watched Top Gun in the theater.
Maverick. Yeah.
Maverick yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the good classic movies that the big blockbuster that you go out to see. So that was kind of reminiscent. That was fun.
That was very nostalgic. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Julie Colton asks, any tips for singing with the banjo?
Yeah, to some degree. The banjo is very in your face can be kind of sometimes. So I definitely oh, come on, baby.
It's totally okay. Daring Live pets are always welcome.
She is such a spoiled little
We've
critter.
had Alison's Brown's cat, we've had Nefesh Mountain's dog, we had Kristen's dog, and a few others. It's always adds to the party. So yeah.
Well, next time I'll have to do it out in the pasture, so in West Tennessee, so the horses can get into the action,
Oh,
right?
there you go. Yeah, let's do that.
Singing and playing the banjo. Play quiet. Dynamics are very important, and I try to be bend down. as melodic as I can, because I think with a voice you really want. That's why the guitar is such a because it resonates and it blends nicely. So with the banjo, as much of that resonance and that you can get with it, I think is attractive with the singing. And something as simple as chords, is always a good stand by there. So.
Absolutely, yeah, awesome. Anita asks, what do you do to keep your right hand so tight across different styles? I often feel my right hand feels too big when stepping outside traditional styles. I'll let you interpret
feels
that
too
question.
Big. Your right hand. So yeah, I'm kind of like not your like really doing it the proper way kind of banjo player. I tend to slant more, and I use these really tiny. I can play with the other picks, but I really like the little picky picks. Okay. They're little tiny ones, and I use the speed pick from Fred Kelly. And it gives it like a small little space there. Yeah. So I don't know if that's your question as far as feeling too big, but my hand is very tight in there, and I can
just
really
bringing it in and just making probably keeping those movements pretty concentrated and focused rather than big
and doing the big clank. Yeah,
I would think. Very cool. Are there any songs you don't perform live for any reason?
That's a good question. Yes, there are songs that I don't perform live, but because I probably have forgotten the lyrics or something. Sometimes it's just certain songs, because I tour a lot solo, so certain songs don't lend themselves as well to just playing solo, in my opinion. And it part of it's too because I hear the song like I recorded it or hear it with other musicians, and then it just sounds like kind of not as big of a production.
Right.
I might change my mind later on the song after I play it some more and kind of get into a groove on it, but that is definitely, it depends on if I'm playing as one person or two people or whatever. Different songs need different arrangements for that. So that would be the main reason I wouldn't perform a song live.
Interesting. Do you play fiddle live as well, or do you bring everything with you? Yeah.
Guitar, banjo, and fiddle. I play fiddle live, but fiddle's a really tricky one too, because it's certain songs just really they sound so much better with a guitar behind them. So I have to find the songs that work good. And I do foot percussion, so I'm kind of like, you might see me move, but I'm used to doing foot percussion here today. So to kind of, because if when you're doing a faster song on the banjo or the fiddle, it really helps to have that
What drives it too. When you came out here last time, we filmed you in the woodroom. I think there's a video on YouTube somewhere, and you did a rendition of Iron Horse. I think it was like a suitcase, like a percussion.
I did a suitcase drum at that time, right?
Which was awesome. Yeah, it was as a kick drum. That sounded good, but it just drove the whole thing. And then I think you went to double time it towards the end and just kind of went faster, and it was like that kind of, just really added.
Yes.
Is that
it does? It's nice having and something just in this natural, rather than having like a canned beat or something, just something that I can do that just gives it a little bit of oomph, and it makes those songs so people can kind of, clap their hands and, tap their feet to it.
Absolutely. Sometimes all you need is a 4 on the floor.
What's that?
Sometimes all you need is that 4 on the floor, just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just to keep the rhythm going. While you're
because the banjo's he's got so much going on. You got all these notes going on, and it's nice just having that solid, beat to kind of, play to.
There's a young band out of the UK that made a pretty good career on doing that. Mumford and Sons or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's a kick drum. That's all they did.
That's all.
Our good friend Alan Jones, who's in the UK as well. I know Mary can play the fiddle. With the tuning being the same, does she ever play tenor banjo?
I've never played a tenor banjo, but I've thought about it actually. I've thought about playing around with that. A great time to play with new instruments is when I'm recording another album, because it's kind of like I'm just in the studio and that's when I get a chance to play with other stuff I have around. Like I have mandolin and such, and it just depends on what inspires me or goes well. But yeah, I'll have to talk to Deering about their tenor banjo.
I know a guy. Well,
Oh, you know a guy? Okay,
okay.
you hook me up.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do something of the tenor. That'd be great to see you with the tenor. Actually, that'd be really fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I like
It would be.
Randy, who were or are your musical influences? And I'm going to add to that. I'm very keen to find out from you, because you kind of self-professed like not a bluegrass person necessarily, which is not a bad
Did I
thing.
lay that on
Right?
Tuesday?
No, because I'm kind of the same way. Like I love bluegrass, but like I didn't necessarily come from that at all. And
Yeah.
so I think more and more we're seeing that with banjo players in general. Like they're just pulling from different genres and stuff. So who would be like your influences as far as banjo players go? But then anybody out there who are like non-banjo players and non-bluegrass specifically that like you love?
Oh, gosh. I don't like to pick favorites, especially when it comes to banjo players. There are so many good musicians out there, and they all have, I love the uniqueness of different, different artists. Like I said, I didn't grow up listening to banjo, but I listened to all sorts of, and I started playing, some of the first music I played was more like old classic rock, folk rock, Elvis Presley, James Taylor, the Everly Brothers. That's the kind of stuff that I, like Dream, all those songs. That was what I learned. We had like songbooks, and I didn't really hear the artists perform them. I went through my mom had me, let me go through the music and read the sheet music, and then I picked the songs that I thought were the cool. So I always tell folks that I really wasn't inspired by an artist per se. I was more inspired by the songs themselves, what I thought was pretty. And Fire and Rain was one that I had in my repertoire at a young age, and just all sorts of things like that. And I'm a big Elvis fan now, so he's not exactly your banjo.
I think he was. I think he had a closet banjo thing going on. He just didn't tell anybody about. What a different world we would have been, right? If he just came out and with a banjo instead of an old Martin.
With a banjo. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
That's awesome. All right. I know we're on the hour. If you don't mind, I've got just a couple more. Is that okay?
Sure.
Sorry, guys. We're not going to be able to get through all of them because you were just like crazy question answering today. It's awesome. Do you listen to heavier music? Any metal in there?
I listen. I can listen to just about anything.
Yes.
There's songs. I'm not gonna be like doing this to the workout, but I have listened to my share of. I really feel like every genre has something good in it that I will like. I might not like everything in that genre, but I can find a song or two that I listen to. And and some of the heavy, a lot of people actually compare some of my music to more like heavy metal, like Blazing and stuff, with those da-da-da-da-da, all that stuff.
Yeah. Lots of double
So I can
stops
appreciate, I can appreciate that sound for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Again, Maiden on a banjo. Why not? Let's make it happen. Okay, last question, and then we'll just slowly wrap up. So Anita again asks, do you approach an electric banjo or a crossfire differently from either a direct amp or PA or mic traditional instrument? I know we talked about the crossfire in the beginning, but I guess it could apply to any banjo with a pickup, really. But
it could. Obviously, if I'm playing like this banjo here, whether I'm miking it or I'm running it direct, I want it to sound as true to what it sounds like, because it sounds gorgeous just as it is. And just trying to find that right miking or that right, preamp or mixware that's going to make it sound true to the acoustic instrument. But if I'm playing the crossfire or something, and I'm playing it through like an electric amp, then and that's something that when I was playing with the crossfire, I found myself trying to make it sound too much like a banjo, and I want that banjo element to it, but at the same time I'm like, I'm playing the crossfire because I wanted to play something different. So why am I working so hard trying to make it sound like a banjo? So I said, forget it, let's let's just put some effects on it and just go with it and enjoy what it is. And so so it kind of gives that freedom. But yeah, they're, just the acoustic as opposed to, it just depends on what sound you're going for.
Yeah. Do you play it a little differently because of like it has effects on it? Do you find it like changes the way you kind of approach it as an instrument in general?
It does. It's fun. It's different than playing like an electric guitar because there's the elements, the finger picking and just the sounds of it. So I think on the EP that's coming out next month, there's a song called Sparrow Alone, and I did like 3 banjo tracks on. I did like one a real traditional sounding, just kind of acoustic, and then I just had fun with Crossfire, and it was so cool just having the different effects and seeing how they played out on different, because you can just experiment and the little sounds and stuff that you can get on it. It was really cool. So I was proud of that.
That's awesome. Tell us about the EP. You mentioned it a couple of times. So when is this coming out, and what can people expect?
It's coming out August 19th, and it's just 4 songs. Again, it's volume 1. So we're going to do 4 different EPs for the whole project. And I'm already, I've already got the other songs in the works. But this was kind of an opportunity for me to get a little more, have a little fun with like the Crossfire and with effects, because I don't want people to feel like, oh, Mary, she's not playing. I don't want to hear, electric guitar and electric banjo. I want to hear, bluegrass or folk or acoustic stuff, and she's not being true to that kind of. I wanted to have a difference in the sound, so they realize that I'm still doing this and I still love this, but I always have enjoyed rock, and I've always enjoyed electric instruments and that kind of style too. And I want to, have a chance to play that and do both. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, it's fine. They're just both there. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So is this like a full band situation then? You got drums
a 3-piece.
Going, or? Okay.
Drums and bass. It's Alan and David. Yeah. So it's just the 3 of us. And so a few of the tracks are just that, just drum, bass, and banjo, or drum, bass, and guitar. I think 3 of the songs I do banjo, 1 I do electric guitar on. So yeah, it's a chance to kind of rock out a little bit. Not too much. I call it more like folk rock, Americana rock. It's still got that little blues. But it's fun just to be free.
Yeah, and just to be able to experiment with stuff and without it kind of interjecting into your main avenue, right? It's
yes, because I love all things. I love both styles, and I really thought the EP was going to be like, oh, I can't wait to get this out. But when I started working on Portrait of a Woman, I really got super excited about some of the songs, and it's like, I don't care about the EP anymore. I want to do this album and all these new songs I have coming out. So both projects are I'm really excited about.
That's awesome. I love it. And so the new album is on, I know it's on Spotify. Can they buy it from the website and all that kind of stuff? Or what's the best place for people to go to?
Yes, it's everywhere. Apple, Spotify. It's on my website, meandmary.com. You can buy the album or you can download it. It's on Amazon. So wherever you go to get your music, I am happy with whatever choice you choose. Or you can just watch me on YouTube.
I think go to meandmary.com, because that way you get paid better. That's my opinion.
That's very true.
I have my feelings about streaming services, but I will leave them on the table and not go down that rabbit hole right now. But it's go to meandmary.com, and that's the best way to do it. You have been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed every second of it. What a great conversation. That was really fun. Cool. Again, meandmary.com. We're going to have some shorts coming out from this episode where we can get little snippets of what you've been talking about. But any final thoughts before we part ways on that you want to share, apart from go buy my album, please, and stream?
No, it's just been a pleasure. I love Deering. I love everybody at Deering, and I'm very happy to be a part with you all and play these banjos, because I guess we never really talked about how I first started playing Deering. I guess that.
No, we didn't. There was a question, but it kind of was. I was frantically trying to look down and. It's my first solo Deering live.
I was just. I was just thinking about that. No,
we got time.
Okay, I was doing historical music, and I had my banjo. It was an old pawn shop banjo that I was playing. I can't remember what it was actually. what brand it was. And it sounded okay. It's heavy, you know. But I was looking for a banjo because we were doing a lot of strolling music at the time. You know, like historic, you know, walk through the festival, dressed up in the old timey clothes. And I wanted something light, and I saw the Good Time, the Deering Ovenback. I'm like, that's perfect. And the neck and everything, it felt so good. And it played for such a small, you know, little light, seems like a rinky dink thing compared to your normal, you know, banjo. It's like, wow, this sounds beautiful. It sounded better than my banjo. And it was just a pleasure to play. So I really was enthusiastic about playing that. Janet got me. I was playing the model right before this, and she sent me that one. Okay. And then I ever since it's just the feel. I love the Good Time that I have, and it looks so cool too. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, okay. Everybody that you know, that doesn't like banjos or doesn't really has to admit that these that the black banjos are pretty cool, you know.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool, rock and roll. So
you find me those people that don't like banjo or claim to not like banjo. It's like, how can you not like that? I mean, we're not talking about peanut butter on noodles or anything like that. We're talking about banjo. Inside joke. It's okay. Yeah. I knew I'd figure out a way to leave it in. No, you're right. So Janet was the first person you met.
Yeah. She talked with me, and it was just awesome. And I had used those on YouTube, so that's kind of where people were watching me play the Good Time, and so she wanted me to try out the new model, and I really enthusiastically love all the Deering banjos that I've ever played, from the cheapest to the most expensive. Are awesome. So.
Thank you very much. We appreciate hearing that. So,
and my new tenor banjo is going to be wonderful too.
I was just going to mention that. We'll talk offline and we'll see what we can figure out and see what you need. We'll see that. Awesome. Well, would you mind very kindly playing us out?
I would not mind at all. Are you going to sing?
No. I could play. I have a bass here. I could play bass for a little bit.
Oh, there you go.
There's a distinct lag between me
yes, that could make some cool. You could make some cool little.
Good. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in as always. It's a great pleasure to have you all here, and tune in next time. And yeah, what a pleasure. We'll see you again soon, Mary.
Jamie. Sure thing. I'll do one from my album right before this. This is one I wrote with my mom, called What About Today? I said tomorrow, the Lord said today. Oh, what about today? Is this my final trouble? Has it come and go? The Lord answered softly, there's another coming on. Will he come tomorrow? Can't I hide away? He said you could stand and face it. It could come today. Oh, I said tomorrow. The Lord said today. He said you can do better. You can be right now and pray. I said tomorrow. He said tomorrow's far away. Oh, how about tomorrow, Lord? And he said, what about today? My neighbor needs my help again, but right now I can't be late. Maybe later on this week, does it have to be today? God said later is a travesty, you could wait your life away. Tomorrow may not happen, but what about today? Oh, I said tomorrow, the Lord said today. He said you can do better, you can kneel right now and pray. I said tomorrow, he said tomorrow's far away. Oh, how about tomorrow, Lord? And he said, what about today?
The Lord answered softly, there's another coming on. Though lions roar and people war, you can't keep life at bay. You can't trust luck or destiny, but I am here today. I said tomorrow, the Lord said today. He said, you can do better, you can kneel right now and pray. I said tomorrow, he said tomorrow's far away. How about tomorrow, Lord? And he said, what about today? I said tomorrow, the Lord said today. What about today? Tomorrow may not happen, you can't wait your life away. How about tomorrow, Lord? And he said, what about today?